Woohoo, we are live. This is Math 60, Intermediate Algebra. This is 1.6, Solving Formulas in Geometry, Part 2. And we have just finished this wonderful crown molding question where we found the width, and I forgot to put a box around it. So there's my happy little box. I'm like Bob Ross, but with happy little boxes. And next up, I'm going to answer this question. Find the area of a circle with diameter 3.8 feet. Okay, so it says find the area of a circle. So this doesn't have a question mark, but I can tell I want the area of a circle. So what I do for myself is I say, okay, area equals what? And I know I've got a circle. So there's my circle. And I also know that the diameter this is a pretty big circle. This is like parachute time or circle time if you were in, kindergarten. The diameter is 3.8 feet. And I have to remember that the diameter is just like a Pokeball. It goes all the way across, 3.8 feet. Okay, so the diameter equals 3.8 feet. And so I need the area. So I'm going to come look over here and I'm going to say, okay, the area of a circle is pi r squared. Which means I need to know what the radius is. And here I've got the diameter. So the diameter is 3.8 feet. The radius is, how do I get the radius from the diameter? You're right. 3.8 all over 2. So you take half the diameter. I get 1.9. It's also in feet. Diameter measured in feet. Radius is measured in feet. And so I come over here and I've got pi times 1.9, the quantity squared. And take a look here. 1.9 squared gives me pi times 3.61. So in other words, my area is 3.61 pi square feet. What do you think? I know I pulled some fast ones there. So let's talk through it. First thing, why did the number come in front? Well, this follows, even though pi is a constant, it is a number. It does not change. It still follows the conventions the same way the variables do. So you're going to take your numeral first and then pi. So that's one thing. The next thing is, if you multiply 1.9, which is feet, times 1.9, which is feet, you get feet times feet, or square feet. So areas will always have square somethings. Perimeters will always have just the something. So a perimeter would be measured in feet, circumference in feet, area in square feet. Now, I do not know for all the different problems whether WebAssign is going to want you to give, this is the exact value, or whether it's going to expect that you're, oh, I found the pi. There, you guys were probably like, it's right there. You can't even see it. What's wrong with you? The answer is, I don't know. The list is too long to even mention. But there's our pi. So if they want an approximation, I've got 3.61 times pi, which is times pi, which is 11.341149 and some other stuff. And so now I have to find out what sort of approximation does WebAssign want. Do they want 2 digits? Do they want 4 digits? If they want 2 digits, I could say it's approximately 11.34 square feet. So that would be the approximation. And on any given problem, WebAssign might be looking for the exact answer or the approximate answer. Now, Sometimes you get a calculator that when you say what is 3.61 times pi, it tells you that. It says 3.61 times pi. And that has to do, now in this one, I'm not seeing it. I would have to take a look. Somewhere in here in the setup, you can tell a calculator whether you want it to give you decimals or whether you want it to tell you speak in math, be able to say pi without having to approximate it. So if your calculator's stuck, please come talk to me or a tutor. We can help sort out how to reset the settings so it'll give you the kind of answer you're interested in. Okay, so we have those very lovely problems. But then we've got one more thing we've got to approach in this section before we move on. And that is that we're going to be working with a lot of formulas. A formula basically is any time you're relating two or more variables. And one of the things you have to be able to do with the formula is rewrite it. You need to be able to manipulate it so that we can get different information out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and start with one of my favorite formulas. This actually represents the future value of money after an investment. Ooh, A is the future value, P is the principal or present value, R is the interest rate, and T is the time. But to be honest, you don't have to know any of that. If I give you a formula, I'll write it big again, A equals P plus PRT. If I ask you to solve it for T, what I'm looking for is I want you to say, to do some work, I want you to be able to say T equals and then have the rest of the equation over there. So get T all by itself. So let's go ahead and approach it. So I've got A equals P plus PRT, and I want that T by itself. So let's see, first thing I'm going to do is subtract P from both sides. I get A minus P equals PRT. Sounds like it would make a good song, you know, PRT. Anyway, and I want to get T by itself. P and R, I don't see any operations here. So P and R and T are all smashed together. There's no operation written in, which means it's multiplication. And in order to get the T by itself, I have to do the opposite thing. So if this is all multiplied, to get them out of there, I have to divide. So I'm going to take the A minus P and the PRT, and on both sides, I'm going to divide by PR. The P's cancel, the R's cancel. Oops, leave ones. There we go. And what's left? Just the T over here. So A minus P all over PR equals T, or T equals A minus P all over PR. Ta-da! How do you know that you've done it correctly? Well, you have to have T by itself, right there, which I do. And then over on the other side, no T's. There can't be any T's over on the right side, or else you haven't finished it. One thing to be very careful about in WebAssign is it is case sensitive. So the A and the P in this particular problem are uppercase. The R and the T are lowercase. So always double check you know whether the letters are uppercase or lowercase before you try submitting your answer. Okay, next up, part B. Part B is the one that is hard. So in other words, I want you to solve the same thing for P. P equals, and then some stuff. And so why is this harder? Well, this is harder because there are two P's. There's a P here and there's a P there. And you have to bring them together and get everything else out of the way. And there is only one way to do this. And so that's why I want to do this for you, because you will have seen it and then you will know how you do this. Ah, see, there's a method to this madness. The way you do it is you factor out the capital P. You go backwards, distributive property. And the very first thing I did, a lot of people are like, what? And then I say, no, it does make sense. Don't panic. This P is sitting by itself. It's just a P. So when I factor the P out, I do the distributive property backwards. I want to leave something sitting there so that when I multiply, there's a P. Remember we talked about the identity? I need a number which when I multiply by P, I get P. That's 1. If I put the 1 there just as a placeholder, then if I imagine the P goes through, P times 1 is P. P times RT is PRT. Okay? So if I've got A equals P times the quantity 1 plus RT, and if I want P all by itself, right there, what do I have to get rid of? You're right. I have to get rid of the 1 plus RT. Now, what's between the P and this whole parentheses thing? Nothing. So that means multiplication. We got implicit multiplication happening right here. How do I undo multiplication? Division. Now, even though this is big, if they match completely, you're allowed to cancel them out. And I get A all over the quantity 1 plus RT equals capital P. Or I can change the order. P equals A. And see how the parentheses around the whole bottom? If I've got the parentheses around the whole denominator like that, I can drop them. Woohoo. You know what we've done? We finished chapter 1. Woohoo! Dance party, Godzilla dance party, Dracula dance party. Oh, they're dancing. Don't dance up. There we go. Okay, I obviously need to hire more people to help me with my dance party. Dance party! Okay, congratulations, guys. We finished chapter 1. Woohoo! Next up, chapter 2. More math, more learning. Math on, guys. Math on.